Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Think Future. My name's Calabucas, and once again, we're coming at you live from deep in the heart of Silicon Valley, California. We're talking innovation startups, the future, not necessarily those, not necessarily in that order. If you're watching on YouTube, smack that subscribe button, hit that bell so you can be notified when a new show comes online. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast service, please subscribe and please drop a note on Apple Podcasts. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I bet your life is hard. Well, not your life, but your work life. If you're an innovator, if you're a creative person, if you're somebody who tries to push the envelope, to try and expand people's mindsets, to try and get them to think more creatively, to try and get them to think more innovatively, to invent things, your work life is probably really hard. It's really hard to get people to think more creatively. It's really hard to get people to think outside the box. It's really hard to push the envelope. I think the reason why it's really hard to do that is because most people are afraid of change. They fear change, even if change is better. Let's say I'm in a horrible situation. I'm in a terrible situation. Things are awful, right? I would prefer to stay in this awful situation. I think this is most human beings are like this. Prefer to stay in an awful situation than to go into an unknown situation, which could be 100 times better. It's the devil they know. It's what they know. Uncertainty is fear, generates fear. Fear of change. That's why it's so hard. That's why it's so difficult, because people push back. This is a human thing. This is a normal human thing. I mean, you can probably rage about it as much as you like, but the reality is it's a normal human thing to be afraid of the new, of the different, of the innovative. So that's why it's so difficult. So the only way to do this is slowly, in steps, incremental changes. This is what happens a lot of times. A lot of times we go into these situations, where we want to be innovative. We want to push things forward. We want to hit the ground running and innovate disruptively, not just incrementally, but disruptively. But the problem is that most people can't handle disruptive innovation. Most people hate disruptive innovation. Not you, because you're an innovator. You're a creator. You're inventive. You want to see disruptive innovation. You're seeing systems all around you stuck in these grooves, and you wish you could innovate. But if you're inside of those organizations, it's really difficult to innovate. It's really difficult to push. So you have to incrementally push and then hope that someday some outward event, some disruption, some major disruption will cause you to go the rest of the way. It's like what happened with COVID and telecommuting. We needed something like COVID to disrupt us into widespread telecommuting. Commuting has always been bad for us. We hate commuting. But the only way we got pushed into widespread telecommuting is if there was some major external disruption. So yeah, creativity is hard. Innovation is hard. A lot of times you feel like you're banging your head against a brick wall when you can't get people to realize that things could be better. So the best thing to do is to be primed and ready for when disruptions occur. And if you can create them yourself, great. When the disruptions occur, take advantage of the disruption and move the innovation forward. That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.